What's up, guys? Troy, ATXRC Productions here. We're talking about companion device for solo today. I'm gonna try to keep this short and sweet, but I just want to quickly share real quick. Samsung Galaxy Tab first gen, Apple iPad first gen, Apple iPad Mini. I'm sorry, iPad Mini first gen, iPad Mini 3, Wi-Fi, both of those, 16 gig. Galaxy Tab 10 point whatever 2 generation 2. Okay, and generation 2 Retina display iPad Mini, Wi-Fi 64, and LTE unlocked. Unlockit.nz.ca gets you your APN assignment for your unlocked tab. Samsung Galaxy 4 Sprint Edition, cell enabled Android. Alright, here's the deal. We're going to do a test comparison. There is a couple of small little minor glitches with the Apple iPad app, iPad Mini app. Nothing that's killing me. The Orbit in particular is the one that I don't really like. It snaps the menu or the map away. I've gotten used to it and I just snap it back. But it does crash every once in a while when you snap it back. Never a problem restarting the app or anything. I mean, it's fine. It loads fast. It's crisp. It's clean. I like it. The screen size I love. It's perfect. Well, cell enabled and it's H2O wireless. I've told people in the past it was 50 to 80 cents a flight. I lied. It's actually like 10 cents a flight. I've just done the math recently. I've spent $2.50 on 10 cents per megabit. I've only used 2.5 megabits in almost a month and some time. This one's going to be, like I said, Sprint cell enabled. My history with Android. I used to love Android when it first came out. I used to use it. I used to have the Samsung Galaxy 1, Galaxy 2. I switched to Apple when I got the iPhone 5. I used to disdain Apple as a company just for a few of its practices, not really its tech. I've left its tech, but I've never used it, and I've kind of purposely. We recently switched to an iMac for my son, so that's what I use now. I've gotten rid of my PCs. I have them when I use them. Workflow with Apple is great. I don't know what the other beef is with people that have them. I say they're great. They're fast with video, fast with pictures, clean, crisp, easy to use. Everything's synced together really well, and I know you can do that with all these other devices, but it's done already for you, so whatever. I used to despise them as a company, though, and I used to hate them for like 15 years. I used to be a PC guy in the 90s, let's just say that. I will tell you that when I got this tab in my hands, it was for just testing. That was all I was going to do with it. Though if it would have worked out, I was going to try to see what I could do about selling this one, possibly. I mean, if I liked it. Picked this one up. I got everything installed on it eventually. I hate this thing. I hated it. I had already called and asked if I brought it back immediately, could I just get my refund right then and there? The answer was no. Anyways, I got it all set up. I took it. I still hated it. First of all, look at the size. It's so tiny. I mean, shoot, man. My original first generation was bigger. I feel like the screen on this is at least bigger. It feels like that, but just, I don't know. I don't like it at all. But that's fine. I still thought supposedly this thing's superior. People keep praising it, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it. If it works, I'll keep it. First thing I noticed, put it in the holder. It wants to slide right out of the holder. Why do people not mention that? Apparently, you need a case on it for it to sit in the holder, which I guess is good. But I wasn't planning on using a case on it. I personally turned Optimizer Wizard off for the connection devices. It still would not stay connected to cell while it was also on Wi-Fi. So when it connected to solo, it wouldn't give me cell. Got me frustrated trying to get the maps cached and all that. In fact, I never cached a map because I was like, screw it. And I just went up in the air. I flew it first because I wanted to know. I didn't want any kind of bias on that flight. I haven't flown my solo in 2 days, so I flew on it. My flight with it, I thought everything was pretty kosher. First of all, the opening screen is the only thing that I really like about is the only thing I actually liked about it. we're on the iPad Mini. It's this island floating. This one's just, it's like cars driving and it goes into follow me, but then cuts away. It's different scenes and stuff. It just looks a little bit cooler. Besides that, I hated the menus. The way that you're in a settings menu and when you click something, half the screen it goes to it rather than just the whole screen being the next sub menu. So I hated that. There was one good thing too. The GoPro footage, the way that the OSD was overlaid was slightly different. I don't know if it was because of the screen size, which is horribly much smaller. The Retina display kills it on the resolution and the picture quality. Um, and then the snappiness of just getting around even in the menu, it just seems quicker. I don't know, like that. It just took a second for it to get to the menu. Where this, it went straight to the menu. I touch that and it takes a second. So I don't know. So quick side note: the Android does not, and I've heard this already, does not have the feature save to camera reel, which is over here on the iPad. The iPad you can save to camera reel, so you can actually first you can start your GoPro recording, but you can also save that extra footage. It's going to be streamed footage, which I'd like. I was going to do it. I was going to stream some here, and then I was going to stream some here. I couldn't do that. So because I couldn't stream any here, I don't know what to do. I will put up real quick a couple of 10, 15 seconds of some of the streamed video. Oh, wait. Did I do it? Hey, real quick, guys. Almost forgot. The iPad Mini 2 or iPad iOS allows you to save to camera roll. It actually allows you to pretty much do a DVR of the footage here. Obviously, it's going to be just like you DVRing FPV footage from a VTX, so any latency and everything will show up. My initial point was to do that on both, but again, I totally forgot that people had mentioned I don't think you can do that on Android, and I couldn't figure out how. So there was no stream to camera or to camera reel here, so there was no way to compare the footage, and I apologize about that. That's an awesome thing about the iOS, though. One thing about that 3DR, why can we not get the overlay of everything also on it, like the H dot, or just the overlay, the heads up display, the HUD, OSD? That'd be great. Please let us get that. That way, if this thing goes down, I can find it. And we can also see what modes things go into. So if something happens, I can go back and look at it and go, oh, snap, it went into GPS or stabilized mode. That would be awesome. So anyway, side note. Caching the mounts I didn't do. So what I did do is I tested orbit mode because that's the one function that I do not like in the iPad. Upon doing it, I noticed a difference between the two devices quickly. The radio point where that just shows up on the map here, now I know why people miss it all the time. On the Android, it's like a little white dot. On Apple, it's a big blue dot. So you get an actual home circle, which has a home on it for home, and then you get a blue dot that's like kind of glowing, and that's your radio. And then you have green, which is solo. Well, here you have green that's solo, and then you have a little itty bitty, I mean, it's tiny little home point, and like a tiny little dot the same size that's white. So it's easy to lose on the satellite feed. I mean, on the street feed, where it's just the regular view. Video quality. I mean, it looked fine. I mean, the resolution's not great again, but whatever. It looked nice and crisp. I was happy with it. It's a Samsung picture. It's not an AMOLED Galaxy S2 or Galaxy 2. The Galaxy 2 screen was even almost better than this. But I flew it unbiased from the first footage. And I actually thought it seemed a little latent, but no more late than I thought than the iPad Mini. I wasn't giving it any credit there. I was like, hey, it flies fine. There's no bugs. I was flying at about 10 to 15 feet through a parking lot that was empty. So around, just kind of FPV LOSing it. FPV style LOS. I was line of sight. But I was buzzing in and out, dipping and diving. I was having some fun. It did seem a little latent, but I was fine with it. So I landed and I put it off and I turned on the iPad. I'll say, the iPad does, for some reason, when you switch or get out of it and go back in, every once in a while, it'll give you a couple of flickers of the camera sometimes. And yeah, sometimes you have to kill it and do it again. I would even recommend turning your iPad off if you're having a really big issue. Just cycle it off and back on. It doesn't take that long. It should clear it out and get it signaled out. I did not have that with this. When I did kill the app purposely and come back and kill the app and come back and exit out and come back, I never had a feed issue. I did have a flash each time, just one flash, and that was it. But that all worked fine. The iPad app does crash if you go in and out of it sometimes. Again, it's not its fault. Just don't go in and out of it. The Orbit. So, when you initiate Orbit on iPad mini and you hit the A button to lock, when you first go into Orbit, this part of the screen comes up as the menu. From there, the map. And then you have your satellite map and then you have your GoPro view. When you initiate Orbit on this device, it actually goes to a full map with a picture-in-picture. I like that. I liked it a lot at first, and then I got a little bit of both. So we'll just say that. I liked it, except for I didn't like the way that I could not see my radio very well and stuff. The problem here is as soon as you hit the A to lock the target the second time, it snaps that satellite view away. Now, I've always told myself I hated it, but I've also told myself, well, it's to give you a really good view of your picture so you can frame your shot before you initiate start. When I saw this one go to full satellite and then it went to the PIP and then I did the Orbit, now I had a problem too. I liked that and I didn't know which was which. This one did not snap away, it just all stayed. Please, 3DR, let's just get that right. Let's get both of these similar to where no matter if I fly Android or the iOS, when I go to Orbit, I want it to snap the full menu with the picture-in-picture. I hope that's possible. Let's do that. That would be amazing on this because of the size of the screen. I loved it on here. It would be great over here. Even having the option of maybe being able to set some of these things as locking in as defaults. That would be cool. Select the type of view and select the field of view. That being said, that's where it ended. I flew with the iOS, and I wish I need to do it, and I will. I need to get some video of it somehow. I can't guarantee the perfect view on these monitors, but there was no latency that I felt. The latency here was, yes, with the stick movements, but I didn't feel a latency with the video feed. The feed felt smooth, clear, and streaming right. Once I saw that, I realized that this one was lagging on video slightly. So I put it back down, I reset everything, I turned all the devices off, I left this off just to make sure. And I put a fresh battery in and I did the same thing. This one still felt sluggish. I pulled it back, I put the iPad hooked up, turned this one completely down. Didn't feel sluggish. Again, the latency is no different because it's still getting the feed, I think. It has something to do with processing the video that the iPad people are saying is sluggish. I didn't see it. So I don't know if it's my 64 gig cell enabled one that's splitting some of the, changing the way that the performance is working because it is getting the cell signal too at the same time and using it, as opposed to caching maps and trying to utilize memory for that possibly. I don't know. But for me, this device is smooth and clean, guys. I do need that app worked out to where it's not crashing on Orbit, but that doesn't crash all the time. It's just that one snapback, and sometimes when you snap it, it crashes. Yeah, that's it, man. Both cell enabled. This was a hassle. I don't know, just for me. This worked great. Still is since going back. Get a refund on it. Might cost me a few dollars for a restocking fee, but whatever. My recommendation: iPad Mini 2, Wi-Fi enabled, unlocked LTE. Get an H2O wireless for your solo. Couple of tips: turn off all your other stuff. By the way, this has nothing else loaded on it. Yes, I had Facebook and a couple other things, but they were all unloaded whenever I actually did the flights and force closed all the other apps and applications. Same thing with this one. So, even play it. Few tips. Go into your settings though. This is really all I use this for. I don't have really anything set up. I do have email and some other things. So what you will want to do is, I've done this before, go to your cellular data, and when you go down, when you go to fly, click off everything. Make sure everything is turned off on cell data, but solo. That's my personal opinion. So And just to show you real quick, if anybody doesn't believe me about the, here we go, how much I've used, 22.8. That's since I put that card in, so 25 days ago, 28 days ago. That's it, man. ATX RC Productions. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope I didn't bore you too much.